Hello, hello. We are live. I am joined with the amazing and lovely Michael of Faraday Research and Development Channel. This was supposed to play, so we will be back in 2 minutes.
This is the bit, isn't it? That confuses me. It's like, did we choose to come here to get this sorted out, or is this just seems a little unfair, doesn't it? That you know, we seem to be here and there's this parasite messing up our experience.
And I know in my own life, the times that I've made major changes, it was like it became more painful not to change than to change. That was when I made big changes.
It's this whole ridiculous narrative of it's an unsafe world. There's not enough for you. It's scary. Everyone's out to get you, and clearly the old civilization was completely the opposite to that. It was all about empowerment, like literally.
Cosmic resonance, I think they called that one, or
Cosmic resonance. That's a better name.
Real science, you can actually produce free electricity, and this is part of what Tesla was doing, is the differential between the top of the spire to the ground actually creates an electrical differential that you then connect to another wire that goes into the ground, your grounding. Put that into the third phase in your circuit, and then you have a bell ringing circuit, and that actually produces plasma electricity out of the air. It's real technology. These things actually function producing electricity. It's crazy.
The movies are the truth and the news is the lies. They've completely flipped it.
When you look at everything with new eyes and you come across information like she was born into a very wealthy family with elite connections, it means something very different now to me than it would have even a few years ago. And it's our free will that they've really also messed with, because we've been lied to and we react based on lies. Just getting their independence and end up in civil wars for 20, 30 years happens a lot.
Because we keep choosing to pick up the gun and use it on ourselves instead of building and uniting and accepting that we are one people, one spirit, one harmony on one plane that together, united, can achieve anything we dream of.
So do you want to, wake up, or do you want to just keep going along because to change is too difficult?
And then give them pieces of information that they will then pursue themselves and look into, and then they'll wake themselves up.
I was going to mention it's the whole red pill, blue pill of the Matrix. That of the movie. And you can consider that movie as a documentary because they're telling us something about what's happening here. So do you want to, wake up, or do you want to just keep going along because to change is too difficult? Wake up.
Who's awesome? You're awesome. Hello. Welcome to all you lovely souls joining in and making this possible. May you've had a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever holidays it is that you settle, and Boxing Day in Canada, where we yesterday got some good deals and new technology to bring you a 2022 full of new podcasts. That was an intro that Campbell made for us with Michelle. We will be having her back on in 2022. There is one that Campbell's just such a good editor, video, and everything. And hopefully he does join us, because we are live on Didactic Channel right now too. Currently it is me and the amazing Mike from Faraday Research R&D channel. And please do share your latest developments, because I know you have been busy, and thank the universe you are feeling well.
Yeah, it's last couple of weeks kind of been rough trying to get over, I was a little bit sick there for a few days, but finally I did get through it, and now I'm back to my normal crazy self. And but yeah, so yeah, Christmas was good. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming up in the new year. I was fortunate enough to get some new gear, and hopefully that's going to help me out produce my videos and do my streaming cast for everybody to make it a better experience for everybody.
Exactly.
And, yeah, so yeah, it was all good. It was a very good Christmas, even though that this COVID thing has been kind of putting a damper on pretty much every. Yeah, so we just have to.
I am the forever optimist, and even though like my silk screening, my festivals, the regular business lifestyle has been in storage for 2 years now, it's brought us together and brought this podcasting and second year in now for us. Everybody's going into the third year of these lockdowns, so it is the metaverse. It is the merging of us and the Matrix. So
it's
don't fall for the new Matrix video that I hear a lot of reviews that it's not that great and it's stolen and this and that, and I haven't even bothered to see it. I loved the first one. The second, the third, it was like, wow, this is just garbage at this point. And then I didn't even bother with the new one, because at this point it's all about being your own wizard, warlock, Wiccan, or witch, and using this metaverse matrix to your advantage to then create your universe and then manifest your metaverse into the manifestation of the real world. And that is how you are able to, for instance, use crypto to increase your wealth. Like I experienced my first 1000x gain crypto in period of 3 months in this last year here.
That's amazing.
It was called Crypto Mines, and then the hashtag Eternal, and it was a metaverse of a galactic metaverse first mover game, because it was one of the first of these new generation with the crazy graphics and whatnot, where you're in your own galaxy or whatever. Bought them at 50 cents. When it got up to $150 a piece, I sold 50% of them at that point, because I was like, I need to take some profit. And also that it was a time that even though they were going up 30% consistently twice a week over like the first 3 months, I was like, there's a bunch of these other new crypto play to earn games coming out this week. So I was like, I should take my profits in case something happens. I cashed out 50%, and then nothing happened. Then still 2 weeks later, it went up to 450 US a crypto. I sold another 20% of it then. And then a week after that, it hit $850. I sold another 10% then, so I had 20% left, and I cashed out 20% at $800 US. And not even 3 days later, over a period of 12 hours, it crashed down to $120, the first time it ever crashed. Wow. At which point I was like, okay, something's going on. And my remaining 10% was in a liquidity pool on this pancake swap where I was earning 300 APY interest on it. And it was paired with Binance coin. Crazy crypto talk here. But anyways, it worked it.
It's been a weird year.
At that point, cashed it out, so I wasn't earning the interest, but I sold them then too. But it's called some indigenous or something losses when they both crash a bunch. So it's like I had paired the Crypto Mines coin when it was worth $850 with a Binance coin that at that point was worth 550 US. So the Crypto Mines coin was worth way more than the Binance coin when I made the pair. And then when I cashed it out after that crash, it was one Crypto Mines coin was it was 6 of them to one Binance. So the way the pool thing worked, it like swapped a bunch out so that it started with a 0.7% of one of these Crypto Mines coin paired with a full Binance. And then when I cashed it out after that crash, it was like 8 of these Crypto Mine coins paired with like a half of a Binance. So that's just crazy mathematics for anyone that's into crypto. But anyway, point being, it crashed for the first time ever by 75% in less than 12 hours, and thus why it is so important to take your profits, and why I was able to actually experience this 1000x gains, because by the time it had crashed, I had already sold 80% of my stock, and then I sold that remaining, or 90%, and I sold that remaining 10% then, and at that point, over the next day, it crashed down to $3, and now this coin for the last 2 weeks has been at $1.50 a piece. So I'm still up 3x. If I still owned any, I'd still be up 3x from my initial investment, but I cashed out at the 500x gains and the 1000x gains of it, which I am lucky and blessed to do so. But that is the reality. If you know fractal geometry, you know investing, and you don't be greedy, you can literally manifest out of nothing this metaverse. You create it in the matrix and turn it into your real world reality. And why I went with Crypto Alchemist as my crypto channel is the goal is to transmute digital bits and bytes into physical gold. And my end goal will be creating a crypto that you stake your crypto, and it will earn you interest. If you have it locked in for a year, you'll get like 4% real gold shipped to you that you can claim if you pay the fees at the end. So it's like, this guy's a thief and doesn't even know it. Okay, so no, I'm not a thief. When Crypto Mines had those exponential gains, I never actually pushed anyone buying it at that point, because I was like, this is dangerous. It's so high up. I wouldn't want someone to put their like hundreds of dollars in when I bought this for 50 cents and it to crash. And then it did end up crashing like that. I actually never told anybody to invest in that one.
But you know what? To kind of come to your defense on this, you know, any kind of crypto trading, any kind of trading on the stock market, it's gamble. Okay, either way, you take responsibility for your own gamble, right? You know, if you get involved in this and you start gambling with your money, whether it's crypto or any other type of a stock market or whatever, or futures or whatever you get involved with, you have to understand that there is a potential you're going to lose your shirt, right? So it's just
exactly the number one rule: never put in more money than you're willing to lose.
That's right.
And so it's like, that's the one that I did the 1000x gains. There's also like 50 coins that I've got 80% losses in, but there's 50 that took an 80% loss, and the one that did the 1000% gain. So I'm still up like 920x over that 80 loss sort of thing, right? So and what I did and how I was able to like even identify this game or get some of it is that each of the new play to earn games that came out, I'd literally buy $2 worth of the crypto the day it would launch, so that you get a bunch of them for cheap. And I get, so Crypto Mines, it's like, I guess I first bought it at 5 cents, and then I noticed over the first week that it was making these same gains, where most crypto games, it's like there'll be a huge spike when it launches, where it like 50x over the first couple hours, but then it'll also crash about 20 to 50x after in the next coming days. And I made my mistake of buying into those while it's going up, thinking it's going up forever, and then suffering the losses as time goes on. And it's that I identified that this game was a first mover in that it went live, where a lot of the crypto games that I've bought in so far, I haven't sold them, even though they're down 80-90%, is because they haven't gone live yet. They're just in development phase, where this one went live, and it's this new play to earn model that instead of people paying to play video games, it's that the community invests in itself, and then it's paying you, you're paying yourself back by creating these, well, the time you put in to build your character, you're then able to sell your character as a crypto NFT to the community, to other people that are playing that want to buy it. That's what gives it value. It's the same sort of fiat currency. The community gives it value by giving it value, thus it goes up in money, and it's not just some scam that it gets a rug pull. It's that the community creates it and whatnot. And I haven't looked into the Crypto Mines Eternal thing, why it hasn't gone back up in price. And this is why I never recommended it to anybody, because I never did the full research into who's behind it, what's going on with it. But I noticed that in the past a couple weeks ago, right after it crashed in price, it launched a new crypto coin called Crypto Eternal 2, and it went from $100 to now it's at 200 or 300, and it's still up there. But it's I'm not going to put hundreds of dollars into this thing, especially when it had one that went up so much and then crashed, and then they created it all over again. I don't know anything about that. I just know I was cautious with my own investing, taking the profits out of it, and thus was able to experience that 1000x gain. That's how you do actual investing when you're playing the stock market, crypto market, freaking casino bets that it is. And that's another reflection on 2021 that I will just quickly put in before I let you get into your research, Mike. Sorry, I've hijacked with crypto talk.
No,
guys.
it's okay.
Going into electrical engineering right away. Anywho, I'm also
a year in review.
Not a shitcoin whale, but a scam coin whale. And I was not part of the scam. I actually I was actually scammed $40 real of my first buy-in of this Gala Bets scam coin. But when it crashed, I bought the crash twice. And one point I bought it right when it crashed again, and that's when they were stealing everybody's money out of it. That's why it was a scam coin and not a poop coin. But I bought it for 10 cents worth of Binance coin at the very dip. I received, and that's why it was after the second scam, I was okay, I wouldn't put any more 40 or real money back into it. But I was 10 cents, I'm going to get 1.1 billion out of the overall 10 billion of these coins. Why not buy out 10% of it just for the hell of it? And the scam coin thing, it turned out that 1.1 billion is now forever saved into and frozen, and nobody can take their money out. But it's now worth 110 million US dollars worth of the scam coin that I personally own. So I possess $110 million worth of scam coin that I can send and give and do whatever with, but I can't cash out of it. But I am a scam coin whale, and I'm currently, last night I figured out mathematically and the process of how I can then now take that 110 million worth of scam coin, mint it into my own NFT, new it'll just be called the casino scam NFT burn cron, something anyways, identifying that it was a scam, but now it's something new. And from that, turn that 110 million of scam into real value, while also launching my NFTs on this coin as well, and thus creating the demand for it. And it's way too complicated to get in right now. It'll be a bunch of work, but I think I've actually figured out a way that will be able to transform 110 million of scam coin into real coin. And well, hopefully 2022, it will be coming to you. With that, I will let you take it away, good sir.
Yeah, well, crypto is not my thing, so I just keep my mouth shut and listen. Yeah, I'm a little bit behind the times when it comes to crypto. So, but yeah, overall, I would say, you know what, if we're making the show more like a year in review. It definitely was a breakthrough year for me and my channel. Basically because of you, Bernie.
You're welcome.
If it wasn't for you, honestly, I would not be where I'm at right now. I really wouldn't.
I'm humbled.
So thank you.
Well, and thank you, Mike, for what you do, because it's not just me, it's everybody that is watching and joining in and partaking. And the link to Mike's channel should be in the description, so please do give him a like and subscription if you haven't already, as well as my Crypto Alchemist
What was
channel. YouTube.
How many subscribers did I have when I first met you? I think I was only like 200, I think.
I think
200 and something, yeah.
268 maybe it was.
Yeah, something like that.
Like
Now I'm
roughly
at
around
1120 now.
And I was when the
So-
first time I messaged you, I was like, Mike, like I'm gonna make it that you get 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. And you're like, I don't know. And I've kept my
I
word.
wasn't-
thanks to
I
all
didn't
of
believe you.
folks.
I didn't believe you, but you made me a believer now.
Right? It's the power of manifestation. You
Yeah.
mind over matter and you make it happen, and it will
Yeah,
happen.
I just
Law
went
of
with
attraction.
I just went with the flow and just ran with it. I took the ball and ran with it. So yeah, it really worked out. I was shocked. Like I couldn't believe that doing podcasts like this and others, and that it would just take things to a whole new level, and my exposure got out there and people found out who I am. I get emails every day,
It's
how do I
awesome.
do this? And, like it's like I've created this internet kind of like a family almost.
It is. I was thinking and reflecting on that last night. This community is turning into one heck of a family, and I'm going to be doing a lot more into the Discord. I'll post a link to the Discord here in the chat right away. And
Yeah.
we're turning the Discords, the Telegrams into actual working groups, because we were talking before we went on live on the 48-hour streams that me and
Yep.
Mike will do an afternoon of like workshop together live that
Yep.
will be also there was, I think, Cassandra and a couple others, Aaron, that when you put together the supply list for your current one, that myself, Cassandra, Aaron, and a few others are going to go out and buy all of the pieces, and that we'll start putting them to first replicate what you got going ourselves in one of the workshops, and then it's like taking apart broken say microwave for parts or for for this and whatnot, salvaging stuff. And then I've always wanted to do like some LED freaking just circuitry and fixing. Soldering was the word I was looking for there.
Soldering, the basic stuff, like you have to start off small. And the thing is, like when you get into this, when I come up with my projects and my methods of building, I try to keep it as simple as possible, that anybody can go to their local hardware store or go online and order a few electronic components and make it easy, right? That, I'm not making like aerospace, quality materials, like LEDs, they're very cheap, but they serve a tremendous amount of purpose in what we're working with, because the light emitting diode is basically, it's a one-way circuit, because go from positive to negative and out. So there you go. There's a diode right there. But this one emits light. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
just showing off some of the simple ones that my dad got me there, and then it's hooking them up to the capacitors and the what's the other word? The that you use there.
You're talking about the signal generator?
No. In the little circuits, it's like the battery, but not a battery. It holds some of the charge within the circuit.
What, the capacitor or induction coil?
Is it transistors? Whatever.
Yeah.
Has to make his own of.
Yeah, transistors.
No.
Also resistors, transistors,
Oh, yeah,
capacitors.
Is what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And capacitors serve many purposes in the system, right? And you can make your own if you want to get into that.
Right, with like wax paper, tinfoil layers, monoatomics is advanced part of it, but then a copper coil solenoids, right? So it's like layering with the aluminum foil, with the wax paper and the solenoids.
Well, I wouldn't. Yeah, you could use wax paper, but it doesn't really make that great of a dielectric. You want to use something more like the plastic that you use for like carpet. When you're getting new carpet and you're laying down carpet. Yeah, that's the type of plastic you want to use. Or I've even found out that 3D printer filament puts out, it can handle about 20 to 30 kVA of electricity. So that makes a very good dielectric. So there's many materials that you can experiment with. That's what my channel is experimentation.
Exactly. That's why I loved it. I love you and like identified it. And what a lot of people probably don't know is that you did do podcasting on your own many years ago and had your own channel a long time ago, like at the beginning of the internet age sort of thing. And then it's like
beginning of the multimedia era.
Alternate media
like 2004, 2005. Like the software that
you're such a natural in this podcasting and like the perfect partner for this. And
well, back then I was very green. I was very green back then.
Exactly, right? We all evolve in our understandings, in our biases, in our just consciousness and whatnot. And it's like everything in the universe happens when it's ready. And it's that you're the real deal when it comes to like understanding and figuring out the hands-on circuitry, electrical engineering of things, and like the perfect guide and being able to demonstrate it in front of anybody, being like, here it is. Where it's like I've been looking into it, researching it, understanding, trying to reverse engineer all these things through my mind first, coming up with connecting it all. And then it's
Could you hold on one sec? I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Hold on one sec. Yeah, I'm just about to sneeze here. I'll be right back.
Bless you, by the way. Nazdrovya in Russian we say. But it's you guys that are listening, that are watching, that are joining in. It is YouTube, it is Facebook, I have to say, it is Twitter, I also have to say, and more than anything, StreamYard, bless your souls. And I have more announcements that will be coming with them. I'm going to be doing some work with them. We're doing work right now with their products, so why not take it to the next level? And the 48-hour stream weekend at BurnEye's has evolved into just
I do apologize for that
snowballing effect. And bless you and your soul. So no apologies necessary. We all sneeze. When I actually wake up, right, like within the first 2 minutes of me waking up every day, I have a sneezing fit because it's so dry here. It's minus 30 and stuff outside. The air's so dry. I sneeze 10 to 15 times in a row every single day I wake up. It's nuts.
Yeah, I have that sleep machine. So second I wake up in the morning, I'm like gagging and I'm trying to catch my breath because
I had pure oxygen.
No, it's not even that. It has like the vaporizer, right? And vaporizer, so it's also pushing a lot of moisture down my windpipe and my airways. So when I wake up in the morning, I'm just like, I'm all full of this, fluid, right? So it takes me like 30 minutes to get. It's brutal.
I don't want to visualize that.
It's not nice. It's not nice at all.
All right, back to your discoveries and advancements. And
so this year was kind of a breakthrough year for me. And, you start something and you don't know exactly if that's the path you really want to go. And then it just takes that one event. And, when you emailed me and, to invite me on the show, things start to happen. It's like, one thing after one thing led to another. And then next thing you know, I got all this new traffic coming to the site, and then I start seeing a lot of activity. So I start posting more videos, and I did a little bit more and did a little bit more. And it got to a point where I was like posting videos every day of the week, and people start gravitating towards that. So this was kind of my breakout year and, getting out there and getting kind of noticed. So it's kind of been of a ride, right? And, along the way, also discoveries I've made and, coming up with the spark gap generators and doing all the research on that, that Tesla was heavily involved with that, with the spark gap. And learned a lot of things this year, a lot of things. Like just you know, with the water thing, and the spark gap generator, and then some of the stuff I was doing in the
now
past.
You got 6 gaps in it. Is it the last one?
Well, yeah, I kind of backed down.
So just from the 1 gap to the 2 gaps and that amplifying effect, that was a very good discovery and confirmation of yours.
Yeah, four is too much. You don't need to go that high.
Okay.
You'll get strong effects with 2, and usually Tesla worked with 1 or 2. Usually, that was the limit. Now, for his spark gaps for the Tesla coil, he would use either 3, 6, or 9 spark gaps for the rotary system, because he didn't have transistors back in those days. He didn't have the switching that we have today. So,
sorry, I just have to interject quickly because there's a lot going on in the comments about. I've heard about Saitama. I am reading what you guys are saying. I haven't looked into it yet. I cannot endorse it because I know nothing about it, and this channel is never financial advice. It's all your own research. But I am now intrigued, and I am going to look into it. And it could be, it could also not be, as everything. But I will look into it, and I will let you guys know in the near future.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you're doing, crypto or you're doing engineering stuff like me. You have to research this stuff. You're not going to figure it out in one night. I started in this stuff, I would say around 2004, 2005 with the HHO stuff. So I was a skeptic like anybody else.
Then that would get you killed if you went public with the HHO.
Yeah, I actually got on one of the...
On HHO, it was Harvard or one of the main... academic places just published using solar power to harvest HHO gas now out of salt water. And
wasn't it Georgia Tech or something?
Could be. I think it was something in between. Boston. No. God. Anyways, but yes, it's one of the more major ones, and it's in the news right now. But it's like. I was asked about the article on Facebook last night, and I was like, to me, this is a joke because what they're showing and illustrating in this article is so like what we were presenting this and a more advanced degree of it 15 years ago, and like the sort of stuff that like Keshi, others, and like our own research, it's like in the technology of that, but on like the 4th or 5th generation of it. Like you guys are showing pagers, and we're dealing with the smartphones in our reality of that sort of thing. They're not even pagers. They're still on like the home phone or the telegraph sort of thing that they presented in that article. And we're up in the iPads of things.
Yeah. But see, the thing is, like I've said before in some of the past shows we've done, that sometimes you don't even know what you're looking at. And it takes you years later to figure out what you were actually doing. Like it's staring you right in the face. You think it's one thing, but it's actually not. And that goes same with the HHO stuff. It is a form of cold fusion.
Exactly.
And nobody knew it. This is the thing. And so, I was doing experiments with that back.
He died because of it.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of guys that died because of it. Stanley Meyer, Eugene Matlov, and all those guys that were working.
They died of it, though, because they were assassinated and it was suppressed. Martin Fleischmann died of it because he was exposed to the radiation, which is dangerous.
Yeah, he was getting into high potential. And that's part of it too, because when you start getting into high voltage, you got to be careful on what you're emitting and how much of.
I'm so glad you bring that point up, because it's crucial, and it's why I haven't done more advanced experiments myself, because until I'm in that lab, I'm not going to risk putting those high voltage and then that chance for high nuclear decay and radiation into my home and my body. Then it's like, people ask like, oh, why haven't you done more of this and that? It's like, because I don't want to die of cancer and have my family die of cancer. And
exactly.
The most amount of electricity I'll use is like a couple of D batteries together, like a few volts. Like you can go into the thousands, tens of thousands higher, and like the reaction, but the radiation goes exponentially up.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you have to be careful. You have to do the research on some of this stuff before you get involved in it, because some of the stuff you'll be dealing with alpha, beta, gamma waves, and you got to know which ones not to get exposed to, right?
Exactly.
And,
sorry, I had to show off Tyson the turtle there for a moment. EW said he or she loves turtles, so I had to put the turtle cam on.
Turtle cam. Yeah, we have a chinchilla, so we will have a chinchilla cam.
I love chinchillas too.
That's why I was sneezing. I think I'm allergic to hay, so that's why I was. But well. So yeah, get back into I got into this stuff around 2004, the multimedia, the YouTube thing and Twitter and all this stuff was just in its infancy, and I was doing radio shows with basically archaic software compared to what we have now. And I was doing conspiracy radio back then. And I made some interesting connections with some people out there. I was talking to Jim Mars. This guy's famous. He just passed away a couple years ago.
Soul, hey? He passed, right?
Yeah, he passed a couple years ago. He was an amazing guy, wrote some amazing novels. Another guy I talked to is totally incredible was John Hutchison, fellow Canadian.
And I've been connecting with him, and I can proudly state that we will have him back on with us in the upcoming 2022 year. He has agreed, and we will be featuring his channel as well in some upcoming episodes, maybe even by the end of today's stream, because he's back up and at it, and bless his soul.
Yeah, he's definitely somebody you got to watch, because he's got that kind of like mad scientist persona, like Tesla did.
Kind of like a mad cross-dressing scientist, but his discoveries are so out of this world. Well, what can you expect from an interdimensional mad cross-dressing scientist than the best? And we will go more into his crystal batteries too, right? Because those are the everlasting batteries, and you've had some work with that, I think.
And he's been working on that stuff for years and years. So you can imagine the stuff that he has come up with now. And I knew the Chinese were interested, and the Japanese, I think, were interested.
He was in Japan for 5 or 10 years working with them. On his current channel, he just uploaded a couple of videos where he was walking around on some countries' military destroyers. I think he's back in Canada, so he must be somehow working with or protected by the Canadian military in some way.
Because the last
their ships.
Because the last I heard, he was living in Minnesota with his girlfriend. And
maybe it's the U.S. then.
Yeah, he was in Minnesota with his girlfriend. He left Vancouver and moved in, shacked up with her in Minnesota. And he was working on the Tesla particle beam weapon in his laboratory there. Thing was like 20 feet long or whatever. But
he also recreated the Ark of the Covenant successfully. That was one of the Japanese projects that he did.
Yeah. So, and that's when you get into the dangerous type of radiation. So a lot of the people that were exposed to the Ark of the Covenant back in the Bible, they all got radiation sickness from this because they got too close to it. It was it was emitting huge amounts of radiation off it. So if that was in the Bible, high technology like this has been lost or suppressed or whatever, or all of the above for centuries. And where did they get this tech from? Where did they know how to do this? How was this stuff constructed? Who constructed the Ark of the Covenant? Right?
So I have many questions. If that the Ark of the Covenant, measurements and also Hutchinson's recreation of it. It fits perfectly into the quote unquote tomb of the King's chamber in the Great Pyramid of Egypt. And alchemy, electrochemistry, right? It's spelling, it's word play. And what is Egypt? Well, when Moses took or Imhotep, depending what you want to call him, but when he took the Ark of the Covenant from Egypt, he gypped Egypt of their energy, and the energy was stolen, and that's when the pyramids stopped working, and it was a leftover technology and power source of the ancient pre-dynastic Egyptians.
Yeah, pieces of the puzzle that made that thing work were stolen or taken away. And
absolutely.
Yeah, because that was, see, it's like goes back to the same question: who built the pyramid?
The spark of the covenant.
Yeah, the spark of the covenant. That's the, like we were talking about, is the spark, the life-giving energy source of where everything starts from. Is God energy, right? And,
universal source code, right? It's universal consciousness, universal energy, and the flow of the universe. Because
our consciousness doesn't lie here; it's out here. We're just a radio. We're receiving.
We're a receiver in the physical, biological third dimension of a higher dimensional, conscious, spiritual energy and existence.
Yeah, because the ether is alive. Ether is
conscious,
very much conscious. It's active.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
infinite.
A lot of
both,
and it's
in
infinite.
Size,
totally infinite.
Density, age, time, everything. And it's that once you make peace with that, you'll be able to start understanding the higher dimensional existence that is all of us. Even though we're experiencing this third dimensional incarnation currently.
Well, I think Dollar pretty much summed it up. He says, as soon as we figure out what counter space really truly is, we'll understand what electricity is. But right now it's still theory. Even Tesla, Dollar, they honestly, they still really do not know what electricity really is. But you have to figure out what the ether is first. If you figure out what the ether is and counter space, then it gets you one step closer to figuring out what electricity is, what is gravity, what is consciousness, what is the motor function that makes existence happen.
That is an answer only you can figure out for your journey in this incarnation. Don't look to any other human to tell you what your answer of your purpose is.
Yeah. So it's all theory. Everybody has their theory on what it is, right?
And it's all relevant to your own experience and perspective, right? So it's like,
that's right.
You have to figure it out for yourself. You can use everybody else's as like a model or something to like compare yours to, but it rests down with what resonates in you and that feels good that you do, that you're gonna take on to your next life. And like you don't want to take karmatic strikes against you into the next realm. You want to have those like karmatic presents coming back to you for the good you've done when you're going into the next realm.
Exactly. Always try to put out good vibes.
Not the weight on your shoulder sort of thing.
Yeah, always try to put out good vibes. Always try to give a different perspective for somebody to kind of, ponder on and think about. Yeah, exactly. You know what's best for you, right? So, I never claim to know everything. I never do because I don't.
Right? I learn as much every day as I want to teach. Like I try to give out at least or get in as much as least that I give out, sort of thing. Like you don't want to just preach. You want to also take in everyone else's new perspectives too. So
that's right.
you can be universal, right? You want to understand the universe. To be universal, understand everyone else's perspective to then
That's
form
right.
your own.
Yeah, yeah. Because like the second you have a dogma in science, you're finished. You're done. You know,
Exactly.
you might as well just go a different direction, because when
The
you're into
dog
this
is
kind,
the god of science. As soon as you have a dogma, you've turned it into a religion. And
yeah. Oh, you're kind of froze there. You there? I think your computer froze on you. But yeah, what I was saying before is, you have to keep an open mind, and you have to have this open mind, because second you have a prejudge or a pre-notion of what you think is reality, then you're going to hit a brick wall, because you're going to pretty much find out that it's wrong. So that's why I do all this research constantly, watching a lot of lectures and people that have been doing this energy thing a lot longer than I have, and it helps kind of broaden my knowledge base of what I'm doing. And I say time and time again, I don't know everything. I don't, and I don't claim to know everything. But here's a few things that I did learn. So if some of that, people can take that and put that into their own projects, or try to um, uh, take what I've done and maybe take it to the next level, and it works for them, great. That's what the whole social media is all about, is to
exactly. And that's
exchange of
real
ideas.
science too. This is what I've done. Now so other people can go and reconfirm it, which then verifies it. Or if they get other results, then it's like, show what you did to get these other results and
Yeah,
compare it, and then do the new ones. That is science. That's how it
yeah,
evolves. And by the whole community forming and coming in and helping, it's like all of you that do these experiments and work on your own, work with us, it's like we're all building and contributing and advancing humanity and science to the next level, and connecting and bringing in the metaphysics, the spiritual, the conscious side of it,
yeah,
which is what's really missing in the academic sides of it right now, because it is the dogma taboo,
yeah.
where it's like,
See,
shut the hell up and just listen to yourself and the universe and your
yeah,
spirit, and okay, we're good. Like,
exactly. You know what? It's amazing that all this stuff that I've learned in this last year, especially going into like my structured water, and how structured water and energy and all this stuff, all these different areas that I'm kind of touching base with, they're all coming together. They're all have similarities in so many ways. Like the structured water thing, I think is the coolest thing ever. And I built a really really good machine, and I've added the piezo transducers to it. Now it's actually putting a harmonic frequency into the tank. So yeah, it's really working well. I did some work on it today, did some changes on it, cleaned up some of the wiring, and cleaned out the tank, and changed the filter, and did all that stuff. So now it's running really good. And I've been on this water for the last year, and whenever I had a stomach issue or whatever, I just took a half glass of water from the tank, and it was neutralized. It was gone. I used to get stomach problems all the time, especially in the mornings. And ever since I started on this water, my stomach problems are very rare, occurrence, and it kept me quite healthy. Right, structured water is real. Some of the top physicists and
yeah, exactly.
doctors are actually starting to step on board with this stuff, because they're
Exactly.
seeing.
Same with plasma water, which is just another version of structured water. And
Yeah,
the EZ water, it's the exclusion zone, it's called, but it's charged structured water, where water will literally turn into a battery itself, where the outer
mhm,
couple millimeters are negatively charged, and then the entire inside water is positively charged, and it
Yep.
turns into a battery. And then it's like the structured water we're creating and like the system you now made, it's taking that to the next like higher step of
Yeah, I'm reprogramming the water. So basically, I'm
Exactly.
taking the raw water, I'm neutralizing it with the neodymium magnets, and that's circulated, 24/7, 7 days a week. And after it gets neutralized, I'm also adding the new harmonic to it, 528 hertz and 432 hertz, and that is resonating in the tank. And now I'm gonna put one of those quartz crystals into the tank. So
Nice.
the harmonic frequencies are now
Oh, I
resonating
gotcha.
within the crystal.
I got you. Yeah, that'll
Within-
definitely
yeah.
amplify it. Sorry,
Yeah.
there's a comment of a uni shark. I think those are actually called porpoises, but it's a whale that's a unicorn. And or Norwhale. That's what it is, Norwhale.
Norway.
But I am a unicorn bear, and I even have the hat attachment to go with my man bear unipig self. But South Park goes with man, bear, pig. No, I am a man and a bear and a unicorn. So there we go. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of comments on loving your machine and jealous of it. And I know Aaron's been working on reconstructing a version for himself, and that we got to. I'm gonna also
Try to keep it simple.
through the
Try to-
48 hours. Yes, that is the beauty of it, and
Yeah.
because you've simplified it, and keep it simple, that will first on the first 48-hour stream on our segment will be about trying to where we will actively all reproduce your circuit system that you have going first,
Mm.
and then the next couple projects or weeks worth after that will be on doing simple versions of your water machine that we'll do. We'll feature Aaron's version, and then me setting up one, and then after that we'll then also add in making my version of teaching how to make the monoatomic zinc, copper, silver, and gold that you can then also use for your colloidal waters on top of the structured waters. And I will attach the Keshi teachings that go in depth on explaining which one of the different properties of those monoatomic plasma elements and what they treat and help in the body and all of that.
Yeah, because water is a very big part of our body. Our body is like
Everything.
70,
Life,
70.
the universe.
Yeah,
So much.
it's without water there is no life, right? It is the one basis on a planet you need to have life. You don't have water, there's no life. So water is very special, and that's why some of the physicists and some of the top medical doctors now are taking a second look at the structured water and actually starting to do
And a
real
first look
science.
for a lot of them, really.
Mhm. Because they were afraid to, but now
Yeah, they were peer pressured. They lose their careers if it was deemed wackadoodle, where they're like, "Oh, it's naturopathic. It's not real. It's just worked for 3/4 of civilization for the last thousands of years. This homeopathic stuff they talk about. But hey, if you try to bring it up in this modern world, well, we will just ruin your life." Instead of like, oh, maybe it's better just to drink some energized water and have your body healthy than create these opiates and other crazy addictive body destroying drugs and pump that through, as well as the Ritalins and the Ativans and the acetaminophenes and whatnot that all destroy different organs within the body. No, let's just drink some simple harmonic structured water to have the body in harmony.
Yeah, the one main thing is when you're making structured water, you have to neutralize it first. You have to send it through electromagnetic field through neodymium magnets to neutralize the charge that's in the water when you put it in.
Because we've polluted it, we put all of these freaking insane amounts of broadband frequencies that put it
Yeah.
out of balance
That I don't want to touch
everywhere
on
that
tonight.
it's supposed to, not everywhere with just our current technology.
Yeah.
It's crucial to then rebalance it, restructure it to the natural before putting it in, and then it just energizes your entire biological energy field. This is not
Yeah.
medical advice. This is just scientific experiments and learning here.
Yeah.
But it seems to be the case that when you have your crystalline water structured in its purest form and reset, and then you put it into your body, it then resets, reforms, and strengthens your overall energetic health, cellular structure.
And it's easier to make than people think.
Instead of pumping these chemicals that trying to balance and then only over unbalancing other aspects of the body, all you need is this pure structured water, which then balances everything. And instead of having to mess with chemicals adding or minusing out of the body, all it is just structured water, the purest,
the simplest thing.
Simple. Exactly.
And it's something that we take for granted. But if you want to make a simple device, I can tell you how to make one right now. You can buy those little miniature waterfall kits. You can buy it when at the store. It's a miniature waterfall. Okay, well, basically making structured water is like a waterfall. That creates the structuring and the vortex spinning of the water as it falls into the pool. So you can take one of those, and you can buy those piezoelectric transducers and put it on the outside of the tank of the water reservoir and hook it up to a signal generator you can buy online or whatever, and then look up all the different frequencies and pump it in. Like mine, I'm using 528 hertz for the upper, and the lower frequency is 432 hertz. I use about 12 volts at a 50% duty cycle, and I'm using a sine wave. I'm kind of experimenting with a different waveform. So you could try different, you could go pulse, you could go sine wave. You can try all these different frequency bands. I'm using a sine wave right now for mine. So we'll see how that turns out. But see, the thing is, like, you start on the water and people think, okay, I'm going to get a result tomorrow. No, it's not that at all. You have to do it for about a year. And after a year's time, you're going to see this. Your health is getting better, better, and better, and better, and better. And I've been on it for about a year now, and all my stomach problems have basically vanished. And the friend that made the machine and started me on this water, he said I was borderline Crohn's disease from what I've told him. And I have no problems now. It's totally cured me of, all the stomach issues that I used to have. And they were pretty severe at times. So it made me believe that there's definitely something to this. So, and it's worth investigating, researching, and I built my own machine now. So, yeah, you have to experience
Absolutely.
it.
I couldn't agree more with the fact that it takes time, and you have to understand that, because if the only instant or like real quick experience you will get out of it is that you put too much power into it, and then it's an adjustment that your body can't handle, so it's going to be negative. And
you have to take a small amount.
Negative quick experience if you try to rush it. It's a slow process of transforming it over time, but to do it properly, because
probably for the first, I would say
moderation is everything, and there's no quick fixes to real solutions in life in anything. So when you try to overdo something, chances are it's going to throw something else out of balance and do more harm than good. And that you have to, with anything, even in like the law of attraction and power of projection, it says 30 days. And it's true. Like, you have to take time, or 3 months, or 90 days, or the full year for like huge effects, right? You can't rush anything good. There's no quick fix to anything that's going to last. And you just have to have faith in yourself, in the universe, and what you're doing. And as you do it, you'll be amazed that as consistency goes, as real physics describe inertia, inertia is real in every aspect of your life. And once you've got the force going, it's
like a waterfall, right?
How powerful it is, and how much force behind it that prevents it from stopping. So when your health is improving and your body is starting to change to it, it's like, oh wow, now all of my bad conditions are completely gone. And then it's like, before you know, it's like, oh wow, now I have all of these even more energy. Like, it's adding things. Like, not only did it get rid of the negative at that point, now you're at the point where it's adding more and more positive new things that you've never even experienced before.
Yeah. See, when I first started on the water, I was only drinking about a half a cup, probably for the first 4 months, 5 months. And then now I'm a year later, I usually drink one of those shaker bottles of water every day. So that's enough to hydrate me better. I don't get dehydration like I did before. And, anytime I had any stomach issue or whatever, I would have a shot of that stuff and it'd be gone within a couple of minutes, like guaranteed. Like sometimes it was pretty severe pain. And I would take the water and then 5 minutes later, it's totally neutralized the problem. So, but yeah, and making structured water is a lot easier than you might think. And you don't have to, add radio frequencies to the water like I am. You can start off with a simple device, just like a waterfall. Basically, that is structured water. Because when the water falls and hits the pond or whatever, if there's rocks there, even better, because it's flowing the way it would naturally flow in the wild, in real life. So you try to re-simulate exactly what happens in nature into a machine, and mine circulates, and I keep running it 24/7, 7 days a week. And you definitely notice there's a change in the water. It becomes more like a heavy water.
Yeah, it does. And that's something why this technology has been so suppressed too, I believe, is because a lot of the time, if you're doing it right and have the process like fully tweaked to the right way, you actually are producing heavy water in your structured water.
H3O2.
To do nuclear reactions if you know what you're doing and have a nefarious. Anyways, it's like there's nobody out there that actually wants to nuke themselves if they're intelligent enough to know what they're doing with it. They're probably doing something productive with their lives, not hating anyways.
Yeah, if you're working, say, with cold fusion,
with real nuclear water, you can make real nuclear water in your home for not that hard of a day's worth of work and not a lot of money to invest into the materials to make it, the machine. And you will be nuclearly charging and balancing your body to nature's cold nuclear power, not our destructive, decaying, hot, forced nuclear energy and power. This is universal, cold, forever nuclear, natural body power and energy.
Yeah, it's like Tesla said back in the day. He said, you have to recreate, you have to harness the forces of nature, right? So,
exactly. Same with Victor Schauberger as well. Walter Russell as well, and these are all suppressed genius scientists that were that hundreds of years ahead of their time. But it's like, if you start understanding time and society, and it's like, you can have a golden age or be however ahead of or behind society and the world that you want to be whenever you're alive in any era. And that the greats like Tesla, Victor Schauberger, Walter Russell, Heaviside, and so many more, they're just examples of it. And that if you truly read the writings and the works of greats from past eras, as well as like Sir Isaac Newton, as well as like from that time and others, it's that you figure out that it doesn't matter what era, people were always just as genius and ahead of the time, or society is always just as behind of the times than what the ahead of can be and is for others that just live in that, make their reality that ahead of the curve reality, I guess is a way to say it. Sorry for that word sandwich.
That's okay.
It seems like you resonated with what I was saying there, and it's that, like, oh, the UFOs, like they don't have it, or it's alien, or it's this or that. It's like, look at the Vihaman, like they've been around for thousands of years. That's like just some examples, but it's like Tesla made his 100 years ago. We have the Searle project. Searle made his like 80 years ago. And it's like there's literally, the more you dive in, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of examples of these different people who all on their own, within their own lifetime, were able to figure out an equation, figure out the materials, and build their own devices. And it doesn't matter what year it was in society's timeline. It's they did it at any point when they lived and made it their timeline, and we can, and you can, and we are going to, and that's what we are doing, making it our timeline, and that we are going to, like, through these waters, through these energies, through these technologies that were suppressed, that we're now all working on to recreate together, that you can take control of your timeline, our timelines, and why not extend them and create that golden age of the past golden ages that there's so many of these stories of and legends of, where it's like, hey, well, if the demigods like lived for thousands of years and were blue, but you eat monatomic gold and it made you a demigod, but if you eat or have gold poisoning and silver poisoning, now you turn blue. Well, maybe there's something to that. Just it has to be done in the right way. Like
you have to have real gold.
Like you get your body used to it. Life is long. You don't just go in and eat a pound of monatomic gold. No, that's how you're going to turn blue and die instantly, because you just introduced a million.
Well, I was watching
to yourself without.
I was watching I was watching a couple of lectures on gold, and real pure gold that hasn't been treated with arsenic and all the different processes to make the gold that we see, like in jewelry and stuff like that. But if you're using raw gold ore, it's alive. It's a living entity. All right.
Hello.
It is alive. Okay.
So Mike is becoming an alchemist. I love it.
I've been watching a few videos on some guys that have been working on this stuff, and they claim that real gold, raw gold ore, is a living entity. It's alive, and you can grow gold.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I've seen a couple programs on that as well, of people that actually reproduced that and showed it demonstrated and stuff like that. And I'm glad you brought that up, because this is something I've always pondered and been skeptical of. You
need to get real gold.
When I'm reading the ancient alchemist writings, because their main philosophy or belief is that these metal elements are alive.
Yes,
and
like say, like an example,
life, the metals, the elements are the first dimension of living matter and consciousness. And please,
because quartz crystal, okay, you can grow quartz crystal on a string in water. Okay.
Yeah, I have done that as a child.
All right, now you can do it with gold. All right. If you get a piece of raw gold ore that's from the ground, that has not been processed by anything, you can take
now.
Right. It cannot be processed gold. It has to be raw ore from the ground. Okay. And it will grow. You do the electrolysis process with it, and monoatomic gold is in everything. It's in the air, it's in the water, it's in everything. And if you do electrolysis process using raw gold, it cannot be processed. If it is, it will not work, because raw ore gold is alive. And if you do the electrolysis process with raw gold, it will actually grow. The monoatomic.
That is so cool.
Yes.
I'm going to experiment with that now, because I do have some ores.
So do I. I got quite a bit.
I've got gold ore that's within some big chunks of quartz that I have that I've got.
Okay, that's what you need. That's what you need.
Perfect.
Yes.
And then I also have some real copper ore that's still within the crystal too. So
yeah, you can actually experiment with the
experiment in our podcast. 100%.
Now the monoatomic process that you've been doing right now, you watch what happens when you do it with raw gold.
I am so intrigued now. So intrigued.
And you can put all the water you want. You can switch the water out, because like this one old gentleman, I forget his name, I seen the video last week. He's saying it's in the air, it's on your clothes, it's in the dust, it's in sand. He was getting a lot of, guess where a lot of gold lies inside? Beer bottles. You smash them up.
I've heard that yes. I've been meaning to go back and watch that, but there's a couple people of some other alchemy channels out there where they literally are turning beer bottles into pure gold.
Yes.
In like they melt it down and then microwave it on a certain frequency, and it turns.
You can do that too. Gold. You could do that too, or smash it up into very fine dust and then put it in the jar where you're doing the electrolysis with a piece of raw gold in there. And if there's any gold in that glass, it's going to adhere to the raw gold. It's going to grow into the gold.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Bernie, when are you going to start making gold? How about I just turn your empty beer bottles that you've wasted your alcoholism into pure gold?
Yeah, I thought it was crazy, but this guy, like you said, he was doing it. He was melting it down with a regular microwave oven, and he had to melt it down probably about 12 times. But the last time he did it, it was pure 100% 24 karat gold.
And to anybody that's been sitting out there collecting garbage bags full of glass beer bottles, wink wink, nod nod, all of my fellow, or former alcoholic, I haven't drank in a few years, but we
apparently glass
gave you pure gold for your empties. So there you go.
Apparently glass has a lot of gold in it. About 2%. About 2% of gold is in glass, silicate.
Yeah, it is in silicate, which is quartz, which is you find gold in quartz veins. That is where gold is. So wow, that makes.
So you just smash it down, put it in a bottle of water, add some electricity with a nugget of pure gold that you have, gold ore, and watch the magic happen.
We will be doing that.
That gold nugget will actually get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and actually grow like a quartz crystal on a string.
So our 48-hour streams have now evolved into a 48-day stream.
48 days.
We will show the gold growing.
I'm gonna scoot for a quick cigarette. I'll be right back.
Okay, I will play a little intro or intermission video and do the same thing here.
All right, sounds good.
Oh dear.
Okay, I'll be back in 5.
Most definitely.
Okay.
And to anybody that's just been joining in, happy holidays. I hope the spirit of Christmas is treating you good, or the spirit of the holidays is treating you good. I personally am about breaking the spells, especially the negative spells, And from a mental wellness observation, I believe that the programming of the divide and conquer of, for instance, Santa, the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, is by design to break the most sacred of conscious bond and trust between a child and its parents. That when the child finally finds out, most likely from an outside source, not the parents themselves, that their whole universe, their parents, could lie to them about the physical reality of their existence, completely shatters from that point forward the trust of both family, parents, and just universe in general. And that is by design. So I say spirit of Christmas, and that the spirit of the holidays comes through. And it's also the spirit of Christmas that the Slavics say too, that I kind of picked up on from some watching and listening to some of my extended Russian family and hearing tales or them talking about over in Russia and whatnot. And it is the spirit of Christmas, not Santa itself. And that the spirit of Christmas is a physical entity created by all of us that participate in this Christmas ritual or actions or whatever. And that is the true, real physical Santa, is that spirit of Christmas and the actions of giving and all of that. And Susie, I am part Russian. Well, me too. And Dobry dzień. Is that good day? Good day to you, Susie, even though it's the middle of the night where I am. But that's okay, because it could be day where you are, or it could be day when you watch this. Wherever you are, whenever you watch this, thank you for being with us and getting to this point. Now, I'm going to shut the F up for a moment and actually play the video that I intended on doing, if I can figure it out. So I'm not quite shutting up yet. And I'm like visualizing that Simpsons episode with Homer's brain and the monkey going with the thought things. But yeah. Oh, I found it. I found it. Video coming. Another Campbell amazingly produced video, I must add. We will start it over. Okay, sorry. Is the sound working now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear the video.
White garlic. Yeah, I don't know, but I think it's something to do with the acids in it. It must be the substance of. Yeah, pretty much. Like plutonium kind of. Yeah, they'll probably at least take it off you. Extremely illegal in Russia and the former Soviet Union. Same with mercury. You know, the only thing here about mercury, oh no, it'll kill you. Don't go near it, it'll kill you. That used to be in everything. It's actually that they use these stories so that people won't investigate. Exactly, right? Like, yeah, my dad and his generation in school in the 40s, 50s, like they were handling large amounts of mercury in their like science classrooms, right? And they never had mercury poisoning or anything of the sort. It's when it's oxidized and in the small nanoparticle state that you absorb it, and it can accumulate and become toxic. But any metal just in its metal state is not toxic at all, or in its plasma state, then it's in fact good for you if you're needing certain plasma fields entered into you.
I'm back.
Oh, and we're back.
We're back. Yeah, so yeah, try that out with the what I would do is if you can get a piece of raw gold, hang it from like a string, and then do the electrolysis arc right below it, and crush up all those beer bottles into as fine dust as you can, and start the electrolysis process like that. And because the gold is going to be near that arc, it's going to energize that piece of gold. So it's going to be positively charged. All right. So all the negative charge particles that are in there that are gold will gravitate towards and adhere themselves onto that gold nugget. And that's how you can do it. But it has to be raw gold.
Yeah, it has to be, well, it has to not just raw, it has to be ore gold.
Yes.
Like you pointed out, ore.
And it's alive.
Like, if it's melted once, like people might mistake raw as 24 karat or something like that. No, it has to be the ore. And this is so fascinating, and I cannot wait to do these actual scientific experiments of this and see if we can reproduce this, because it will literally scientifically verify that the ancient alchemists that claimed that it was alive have some scientific proof to back it up. That it's like, hey, look, how is it growing if it is not alive? Right?
It has to be alive to grow.
Not that pressure that you guys were talking about that formed it, or it had to be, no, not that. They claim gold has to be made in a freaking supernova. That's our current understanding, is that all gold on Earth was formed in some far distant past star exploding supernova, and then somehow got here and just accumulated in quartz crystal veins in certain spots because it blew up billions of years ago in some other star. That's how it, like, no. How about we just try growing some with a little bit of electricity and see what happens.
You know, because you can take a quartz crystal and you can grow quartz. You know, you can grow crystals on a string. And I even did that in science class when I was in school.
Who did it? I hope it's still part of the Canadian curriculum.
I don't know if it is. Mind you, I graduated high school in '92, so It's been a while.
I was supposed to be 2003, and then I think I went 2005 by the time I upgraded and got the 96s and everything, and then went on to the pretty much on and off decade of university.
There's so many things I like to try. I just don't have enough hours in the day to do it. So that's why I'm passing this information off to you to see if you can try it and run away with it, man. Run away with it. Make it happen.
Well, we are a team. We are a family.
Well,
we
this
are
is
a
it.
community, and we are going to see pretty soon. Bert and Ernie, they're gonna right next to them will feature the gold ore growing next to them, and we will leave it live.
Yeah, you can even do. See, this whole guy that was working on it, he was using microwave ovens to break it down, and
yes,
he was.
I'm 36, by the way, everyone. Apparently, the monoatomic plasma water does make you look younger. Apparently, I look younger. I don't know. I'm damn near 50 now.
Well, another year, I'm 50. So.
Right, exactly. You don't look that. You look like you're 36. We're good.
Thank you. I wish I was 36. Trust me.
You still are. I'm 27. You're 36. We're good to go. Ernie gonna grow some gold. Oh, see, so there's me, myself, and Irene. I say it's me, Bert, and Ernie being gay with themselves, because that's how Sesame Street made it, as I'm now gay with myself, and my third eye. So, but sometimes my third eye is going to be Crypto Burndo, the transgender robot that is Bender, but on a Burncron Babes mannequin body, thus Crypto Burndo. And gay with themselves, Bert and Ernie Bernie.
No, I'm really curious. Honestly, I'm really curious to see if you could do this and actually pull it off. That would be like really cool.
Oh, brother, it's already happening. We are already. See, that's the thing, is it is so the Matrix that we have already like entered into with the metaverse, that what you and I and the lovely audience right now live with us is that we are making that, and that pulling it off, that 48-hour stream. Well, this right here is going to be replayed at some point in that 48-hour stream too, in the Burn reviews, Rex reviews, all of that.
Because honestly,
they deleted my main Bernard Conkin Alchemist channel. Campbell has every single one of those videos saved that I can now re-upload them, both featured on the 48-hour channels as well, or streams, as well as individually on the Crypto Alchemist channel, and just do it all over again. So it's like, it's just we are the new 48-hour television, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, wherever you use, we are now there thanks to StreamYard, and they are amazing. And I'm integrating so many other professional streamers, channels, and information sites and research groups that have been doing it on their own for so long, and now just turning it into, it's evolving, it's snowballed. It's literally snowballed, avalanche. 500,000 subscribers worth of channels are going to be live streaming this 48-hour Weekend at Bernie's collaboration stream now.
Good movie.
Confirmed. And then Rex Bear, we love you. Leak Project, you started me streaming, so you better add on to yourself as well for Rex reviews, and that will bring it up to 1.25 million if we can onboard Leak Project for this worth of follower subscribers just to start at the launch. And just the universe works in amazing ways. Anyone that's into crypto, wants to know more about crypto, that's active traders, stuff like that, I'm partnered with Project Moongold. Look up, I will put the link, Project Moongold, in YouTube. And like, I've been moderator on there a long time. Like, just not financial advice, but just like things he says to look up and shows you info on that then I decided to act on. Has in the 3 months I've been with Project Moongold, ones I bought in at then, of the ones I acted on have at least 10x. That's my own experience. I haven't gone on and everything, but it's like, you know, it's good. And they use the fractal geometry. That's another thing that is so amazing in how the universe works. Like phi, the golden ratio, 0.618. It's that same number fractal geometry since the beginning of the stock market to crypto market now too. It works in all of it, and it replicates it, and it's just like, when you understand the actual science, the sacred sciences, sacred geometry, and the higher dimensional fractal mathematics and structure and implications of it, it's like follow nature, and you know what nature is going to do, and just by imitating nature with your own, where you put your money, when you put it in, when you pull it out, sort of thing, as nature does, you will literally, not financial advice.
Actually, I have a little breaking news. I've heard from a researcher, a very good source, that there's going to be a tech revolution like we haven't seen since the Industrial Revolution, and some of the stuff that's going to be coming out in the near future. Some of the stuff that we're touching on, over Unity devices, anti-gravity, and all this stuff is going to come to the mainstream. And this good source of mine, it says a lot of the stuff that we're talking about now is going to go mainstream in the next 10 years. So
10 years, we are already mainstream, and let's make it 2022.
It's going to start fast. It's snowballing.
But everyone here, like, share this out. Share this with those around you. Do your part to spread this knowledge, and like engage the community as much as possible, because we are the reality now, and people aren't stupid. Like, well, yeah, there are a lot of ignorant people out there, but there's so many intelligent people out there that now that you show them this information, you don't have to push it, you don't have to like force anything, you just show it to them, and they will start picking up on it on their own. And this is how we make it mainstream. And lucky for you, you are ahead of the curve. This is ahead of the curve. Information, understanding, and development. And the more active you are in it, the more active you get your community in it, the sooner we can make heaven on earth and get up to that next level. And it's about sharing is caring.
You know what? I think it's
not about trying to make money off this. It's not about trying to hold back that. It's not about trying to be like the best or right or anything. It's I know when myself to STF up and mute myself out and let others talk and hear what they have to say. And on that note, I'm going to do so and let you take it away for a little bit.
Yeah, it's just the fact that, all this information that's coming out right now, it's like I said, it's going to start going mainstream, because, you got a lot of NASA scientists that don't work for NASA anymore, are working on, anti-gravity. They're working on warp technology. And we're talking professors.
Part of the 48-hour weekend at BurnEye's stream
exactly.
as APEC, and I thank you for so many of you in this community actually taking part in that and engaging it, because like Mike said, we are literally, and the actual former NASA engineers, the ones in the aerospace industry that you yourself, Mike, are an active member of the working in that Canadian aerospace manufacturing industry and whatnot. But like, all the minds are coming together now, and it's a sharing of ideas and advancement, and it's like, this is the next leap forward, because UFOs, anti-gravity, that's officially real now. They say it's not, they are trying to figure it out, but something else is already doing it, and it's there. So they have lagged and lacked in putting effort and understanding into this.
They can't hide it no more.
Communities that have, like all of us in this community, the ones that are watching this, the ones that are here right now, and that will be joining this matrix when we watch this again in the near future, the 48-hour streams.
See, the
It's
thing
like
is, you can't
they
hide
are
it no
now
more.
investing in us and also looking for the real information. And that's why lovely souls like Mike and myself and the garage researchers and so many else out there are coming together with the APEC community, the alien scientist community, so many others out there. And it's big names, and that's more announcements I have to make as well as social media of big names and big money are now following and listening and paying attention and looking to invest in this understanding, in this research, and most importantly, in this development.
Yeah,
And
I heard an interview with Hal Puthoff. A lot of people might know who he is, and in one, yeah, but he's CIA. So because of that, kind of a red flag goes up with me when I hear he's part of CIA.
Well, but, and that's a good. Sorry, I'm going to say one last thing, and then I'm going to mute myself out, let you speak, and put your. Because here's the thing: Mike also has an NDA that he has had to sign with where he works in the government 12 years, and that it's like, it's not a red flag per se, but it's that people have to understand that there's always good people and always good people that are sharing and like giving their experience and whatnot, but that there's also that you know more than you're allowed to say, for one thing. Yeah. And when there's that aspect, just to when someone takes it in, reflect that what's being said, there's still more to it that's not allowed to be said, and it's not necessarily due to intention. It's just the legal reality that like we don't want to be like, oh yeah, where's Mike? Oh, he's in jail for the next 12 years because he accidentally said something that he wasn't legally allowed to say while he was helping us with his own research project. And exactly, and that there's a lot of other former military retired people that have been coming forward and that will be coming presented more on these 48-hour streams that I've been working with in the past, and they've all sent me their blueprints and designs and stuff. That like we have so much technology that is so next level that will be coming forward in the very near future that is open source, so that they're sharing their life's work that is theirs, that isn't under the NDAs, that their lives that they're legally allowed to say, but it's what they then worked on from their life's experience with their knowledge and then put into afterwards. And now that they're getting older or just want it to it's time. And it's like it's all coming out, and it's up to the community and you lovely souls that are making this possible and joining us right now, and they're here with us, that we have this, let's frickin' build our frickin' galactic spaceships in interdimensional whatever it is, like it's here, it's now. And because sorry, Mike. The last part, simulation, the technology of what the metaverse is. It's that you can both build it virtually, test it, and then print it off in what you also have to show right now as I shut the fuck up. And you're going to present also what you got your wife there, that little vinyl.
Oh, yeah. My wife's gift.
And
but what I was saying about Hal Puthoff, see, with his stuff, he says some of the greatest discoveries in tech is actually not going to happen in an expensive laboratory. He says some of the biggest discoveries might actually happen in somebody's basement, and that's very intriguing to him. Now he likes to take he has this challenge right now. It's called the Over Unity 1 watt challenge. If you can produce over Unity device that can sustain a 1 watt load, you win. So there was many devices that were submitted to Hal Puthoff, and basically he would tinker with it to the point where it was non-functional anymore, and basically making a report saying, okay, your device was only 60% efficient. So Norman Wooten, and his group who created this device called the MRI, the MRI device, and they were getting over unity readings as high as 300% at some of the universities that tested his device. The second they took it to Hal Puthoff, he basically destroyed it. So it wasn't operative. So he basically said, "Oh, your device is only like 80%
MRI, like
effective."
what they use in hospitals. That MRI device is over
No, this is a over unity device that Norman Wu-Tan developed using the piezo crystal.
I'm gonna put one little thing in of that. By law, since the 1920s or 30s or something, it's like Einstein was part of it by working at the patent office, and like the CIA, it was made as like by the War Department at that point, I think it was, that for national purposes, any device that was national security, anything that was over unity or anti-gravity by law then was no longer allowed to be public and put into private military directed, controlled.
They locked them away.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it was his job in the law sort of thing, in the sense as the same way it affects you and what you can talk about and what you can't. But he worked for an alphabet agency, which literally now is the evil stuff, and they probably assassinated Kennedy and God knows what else. Yeah. But on Netflix, you can watch how they peddled the cartels and all the drugs across South America and North America over the last 30 years. And that's on Netflix. So, that is reality coming forward now.
Yeah. So, like I said, that's why I get a red flag when I hear Hal Puthoff was CIA. I wouldn't even send a device to him, because I know if my device truly was over unity, he would basically make it not over unity and basically put it to the patent office, and they would lock it away so it couldn't be used. So, when you get into the over unity devices, don't even bother getting a patent. You're wasting your time.
Yeah. No,
you're wasting your money.
Your time, you're dooming your project.
That's right. You're killing your project.
The patent office, you do that to put it under your name and make money off of it. And the government jacks it. Instead, you have an over unity device, you have an anti-gravity device. You come on and you'll show it to Mike. He'll explain to us how it works, and then we will replicate it. And
that's right.
Do this.
You give it to the world. You give everything that you've made to the world, because the second you get it to a patent office, it gets red flagged. They'll seize it. They'll say, we're holding it as a matter of national security. And it's happened to, from what I've heard, about over 4,000 patents have been locked and seized by the government in the US. And so you have to understand, the older generation of inventors, they wanted to make a device and patent it and make money. And that's where they went wrong. They couldn't come to the grips that that patenting their device was the worst possible thing they could do. So our generation, the newer generation of inventors, we've gone beyond that now. We've gone to this thing of the internet and open sourcing everything, because now that it's open sourced, they cannot suppress this information anymore. They can't lock it away, because if you've given it to everybody, it's impossible to conceal it. So, free energy device handbook. Oh, that's cool. So, with my devices, I try to stay open source as much as I can. I'm going to be doing some interesting stuff in the new year. I just got this new camera, and I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff, on the road, and, more or less making it almost like reality TV in a way. So I've got some new tools to work with, and I'll be doing some great experiments, as well as working on my project, making my over unity generator. The best thing I can suggest, if you want to get into this stuff, start educating yourself. Listen to podcasts like this. Start reading books. Okay, something that a lot of people don't do anymore. Read, because it's amazing what you'll find out. Yeah, you can start off with Tesla. You could start off with Maxwell. You could start off with Faraday. There's actually a couple of pretty good documentaries out there on the history of electricity, how the first battery was built. And you have to know some of the back history of this stuff to get into it. It's good to know the origins of electricity and how things started. And as soon as you have a good fundamental background in electricity, you can start experimenting
I'm sorry,
for
I have
yourself.
to interject, but you are 100% right on everything you just said. But there is also more on the ancient electricity that isn't official electricity when it started. And it's like that, to just begin to understand that, you look into the Baghdad battery, and then Keshe's cup of life, which is essentially the exact same starting of the Baghdad battery, and he's from Iran originally. And then the electrolysis, the alchemy, the advanced stuff, the way I've been going, and many others, it's like and the Tartarian community research, and like the cathedrals and the alchemy of the cathedrals, and that documentation and atmospheric electricity. It's like Benjamin Franklin was the reset of the understanding of electricity in the global community. They're digging up these 1600-year-old French, German science books, and there's full diagram chapters of like at what height around the cathedrals, how many meters above each one, and it's like, so you have 400 or 500 years ago. It's written and still in centimeters and meters by the French and the Germans. So right there, let's rewrite that official history and stuff. But anyways, also of the difference potential of your grounding wire to the charge of the wire into the sky that you get from that atmospheric electricity. And it's like, then they also had these the cathedrals themselves are insulators, dielectrics, capacitors, storage banks, and all of the geometry and how it's built with the metallic roofs, the capacitor domes, spires, all of that. And then there's also always a dipole of like the main spire up, which gives you your biggest connection into the electricity or into the atmosphere. And then there's always another separate building that then has a big antenna and a big tower up with a capacitor dome onto it. And lightning always strikes 1, 2, the coming down from the atmosphere, the going up from the ground. And so that's a dipole discharge into the ionosphere, back and forth, boom, boom, every time. And that is what the wizards of the past powered their devices with. And we have this story.
And a lot of that technology was lost.
The Frankenstein, not think of every cathedral freaking wizard in the world as that sort of factory. It wasn't a place of worship. It was a workshop of what those devices were. And they had the organs that somehow probably healed and powered and whatever fantastical else. But it's really crazy. And the witch's brew, the giant iron cauldron, and how it's like a tale of this to something that, when it's understood in the alchemical science, and now the new nano plasma science of modern man, it's a higher dimensional but universal technology of, that's the resonant frequency through the DNA and the amino acids that are actually recreated in that stew of the witch. And that if it was a copper thing that you're stirring that iron salt stew with, or what potion or whatever it is, you're literally having a cold fusion device of whatever you're putting into that. And then if they also had that same connection, power technology to the atmospheres, there's a lot of crystal stuff that's involved, their wands, all of this and whatnot, the legends, it's like that is actual leftover remnants of a former higher evolved technology and understanding that it only exists in the fairy tales today.
Well, the thing is, it's a lost civilization, right?
Exactly.
You know, it's lost in time, and we have to rediscover, you know, stuff that they knew thousands of years ago, because, you know, either by cataclysm or extinction events, you know, comets hitting the planet, wiping everything out, you know, erasing all the records. And it's up to us now that we're in this era where we're able to relearn some of the stuff and also find out some of the secrets from the past, whatever little texts that were left behind that survived the ages, that we were able to decipher and figure out, oh yeah, back in the day they were making batteries in they called it the Baghdad battery. And you know, the Ark of the Covenant, that, you know, the Ark of the Covenant was a giant capacitance box with an arc discharge. So this
that's
goes
the
back.
batteries that powered it, right there.
Well, yeah, it's like, you know, like
regardless,
we're going back to the biblical times,
right? You know? Right. And then the carving of the dendrolites in the in that same temple or pyramid, it's like, well, there's the picture of the actual physical light bulbs they used. So they clearly had the technology, the industry, and the use of power, light, and a full grid.
I think we're living right now in a very interesting time, because of the fact that we have evolved as a species where we've got
almost
tech.
Got that Babel of moment sort of era epoch.
Yeah. Like we got tech, you know, we've got computers, we got electronic equipment now. We have a lot of stuff that the ancients never had. They were using basically raw materials to make these incredible energy devices that, you know, that we only
universal energy, right?
Yeah.
We've never been so out of touch with the spiritual side of reality that we don't even realize that there's this spiritual technology that exists in the natural world that our civilizations of the past probably fully developed and utilized, and is probably hidden in plain sight around us everywhere.
Yeah, and it goes into the biblical era. You know, energy, electricity, all this stuff was spoken of in the Bible. So, you know, we're going back thousands of years, right? So, but they knew this energy in a different form, a different way of creating it, because they didn't have the tech, you know, that we have now. So we're living in a very interesting era where we have technological advancements where we can make things happen easier. Now we also have the internet where we're able to collaborate with many people and get all of our ideas out there and create stuff and re-engineer the stuff that was lost. So I think that is a very big part of you know, what will be our success.
Is already the success.
Yeah.
And continue to avalanche into more as the inertia accelerates.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, we just got to keep what we do and keep collaborating, keep opening our web of resources, you know, people.
The Web3, you got it. What is Web3? Yeah. Web3 is all of us, and all of us continuing to do what we're doing, only it connects into every freaking device that you already use that already spies on you, but instead it gives you the access to both encrypt everything, tie what you're doing to be generating crypto for you instead of it just making money off of you, and then it all being in the matrix of whatever.
Well, that's exactly it. That's exactly
what Web3 is, though.
Yeah, because Web 3.0 is the matrix. Okay.
Exactly.
Now look at the movie. It came out over 25 years ago, The Matrix. Okay.
Oh my God, I'm old.
All right. 25 years ago, The Matrix came out. Now, here we are, 2021, almost 2022.
2022 to you.
Yeah. And, you know, this is becoming the Matrix. You know, the Internet 3.0 is the Matrix because everything is now coming together. And that's what a friend of mine is giving me these tip-offs saying that we're in the cusp of a very big revolution in artificial intelligence, multimedia, computer technology, anti-gravity technology, medical technology. There's going to be massive advancements in medical technology from what he's told me. So stuff is coming down the pike real fast. And this matrix that we have right now, that's what this Internet 3.0 is. It's the matrix because so much information, so much experimentation, so much development is done. It's like old Art Bell. He came up with this book called the Quickening. So it seems like time is speeding up, and exactly that. It's exactly what he said. Time is speeding up. Now, even Terence McKenna was talking about this thing that it seems like time is speeding up. And the guy asked him who was interviewing him, how is this possible? And he goes, well, think of it this way. Okay. You have the reign of the dinosaurs. They lasted 250 million years of basically nothing happening. Okay. Now you get into 1995 when he did this interview, and we've created more history, more events, more technology has been created in 10 years than the whole reign of 250 million years of the dinosaurs. So it's not the actual time that is speeding up, it's the advancements, it's what's happening in the
acceleration of change.
That's right. The acceleration of change. That's what Terence McKenna was talking about. And he was talking about this in 1999, 1 year before he died. Terence McKenna, you have to watch a lot of his old videos. He
So
died
amazing.
It was a shame that he died in 2000 from brain cancer. But if you can watch, there are quite a few of his videos online right now. And what he was talking about back in 1995 is happening right now. How did this guy know this? He didn't know what was going to happen. Yeah, like he says.
111. We have 111 watching right now, and 1 Facebook thumbs up as well.
Yeah, this guy was unbelievable. Like, I've watched quite a few of his interviews and lectures, and this guy is just, he's way up there with Tesla. Like when it comes to, wow.
Everybody needs to have a Terence McKenna chapter of research in their understanding in this experience of incarnation for sure.
Yeah, so he says very much time is literally speeding up because there's more things going on, more things happening in a short period of time. Yeah,
heavier density, and that's an interesting point because it's like then we right at this point was when we crossed over and into that galactic plane of where they're saying there's that heavier galactic wave coming through to our.
That happened in 2012.
Something on the plane, exactly.
Yeah.
And so a big part, Nassim Haramein in the Resonance Academy. I've been a long time participant in his the delegates program, and gone through all of that, and met with him in person a few times when he was on the road and stuff. Great guy. But he's put so much forward, and his understanding of it, and the cycles and the grand cycles of the planes, and that this isn't this I guess is one of the things NASA has actively been censoring, is that since 2001, the sun, instead of the what the hell is it called, the 11-year magnetic pole reversal,
the pole shift of the planet.
no, the sun, the pole flip, the magnetic pole flip. And it's through that one zone of the sunspot cycle, it's called. And it's 11 years, and it used to, every 11 years, it would build up as the sunspots got denser and denser, and then there'd be a magnetic pole flip. And he showed that in 2001, instead of flipping, the sun actually pulsed. And it got a little bit bigger, and it pulsed, and it didn't flip. And then 11 years later, 2012, boom, it confirms it again. It doesn't flip the pole. Instead, it pulsed a little bit more and started pulsing a little bit every so often, and got a little bit bigger. And well, we are going to see in 2023, because it is now 2022. So by next year, 2023, if the sun does not flip its magnetic poles again, and it actually pulses a little bit more, that will physically, scientifically confirm and prove the Hopi legends, the native legends of being in a fifth new era of sun cycle and life, and kind of explain those ancient grand calendar cycles and star charts and reset timelines that we have only now started to come to understand again, as we are literally moving into this new age of Aquarius on that the 12,000 or 24,000 year cycle of the equinoxes, of the 12 constellations, whatever. God, the other words. Anyways, astrology, but it's all the exact same. But it's proving that we literally do, as civilizations, exist through ages of sun cycles, and that is at least confirmation scientifically and for our entire living existence and experience in society to comprehend that we are now in this new age of the sun, and why those that used to draw yellow suns are souls from the last one. Now, why the kids all draw white suns in their drawings, because they're in the new one and new souls. And those that also have drawings on their childhood from orange and red suns are much, much older souls and have lived many sun cycles of existence and carnation. And to start building with your local Aboriginal and neighbor, not dividing and murdering humanity and forever. When was the last reset? I don't know. I probably was around it. I don't know if my guess was there was a mini one around 400 or 500 years ago, when the new Church of Rome took over the new empire. And
I think the last big one was.
Here's the thing: anyone that's racist against white, or any white that thinks they're superior over any other race, it's like humanity has always been a global mixed race, but also separate race civilization. We're all freaking equal. Get over yourself, whoever. It's just idiotic. But point being, don't be a racist idiot. We're all human, and if you ever want to harm another human, you're just setting us all back, and fuck yourself instead of harming another human. And I will let you take over again.
What I recommend is everybody watch the YouTube video with Terrence McKenna's last interview, dated back to 1999. Very good video. Watch it. It's it'll just blow your mind, this guy. And this was actually the last interview he did before he passed away. So he learned a lot of stuff, and he touches on stuff that's happening right now. Transhumanism. Okay, how often are we hearing about that now? He was talking about this back in 1999. Okay, before all this internet and the cell phone era and all this stuff. He was talking about this back 25, almost 30 years ago. So he was way, way far ahead, knew what was coming down the road. He couldn't prove it. Unfortunately, he's passed. But
yeah. There's talk about like younger calendar ages in the chat right now, and I just want to remind everyone that I played Olaf the Sverker's 7,500-year-old Slavic calendar video in the last stream, and I'll play it again at the end of this one. And it shows how throughout Tartaria in the graveyards, it's actually a calendar of 7,500 years. And that I was talking with Campbell last, where people say the J is not the 1 in front of numbers. I speculate, is that actually a Slavic 7 in front of those numbers? And thus the years from a 7,000-year-old civilization and past or whatever. And Terence McKenna it's timeless, conscious, almost like the Christ consciousness of the old esoteric understanding is what Tara McKenna and what's another? Why can't I think of his name right now? There's so many, but
yeah. Terence McKenna was a pretty interesting character, and yeah, he hit on the nail on so many things. What's coming down the pike now? Like I said, he's talking about transhumanism. Where the tech is actually going to start to be actually in our bodies now.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
What I've heard.
Dali is an example of a transhumanistic mindset, and then like how he put technology and understanding of dimensions ahead of the era and documented in his paintings. That it's like you can understand now from a higher dimensional metaphysics of what he understood, the exact same like level of this kind of like what
See,
how
like
Kenan or like people can state picture the reality generations and describe it generations ahead of time.
See, the cell phones that we have now, this source that has been telling me what's coming down the pike in the next little while. He says that approximately within about 10 years from now, the cell phone as we know it is going to be obsolete. There's something else coming. Now, the question is it going to be something that's wearable? Is it going to be something that's going to be implemented into our body? But he says within 10 years, our cell phones are going to be obsolete. They basically have done everything they can with the cell phone thus far. But he says in 10 years' time, the cell phone's going to be no more. So the question is, where is it going?
Yeah. Don't put shit in my body. I'll take a watch that transports me.
Yeah. So yeah, there's going to be so much change happening. So as far as what I'm doing right now, I'm just working on my stuff. I'm working on my experiments, my energy devices, helping people online doing what I do. So I try to keep everything fresh. I got the new camera to work with, and I'll be doing stuff on the road, and I'll really try to bring my production up to a new level and try to make people understand what I'm trying to accomplish, and the easiest way that you can go and replicate what I'm doing at very little cost. And there's going to be so many things going on. Like this year, I'll be working on the actual flywheel part of this device, and that's going to turn a lot of heads because that is a science right there. Flywheel technology. They call it a battery storage device, a flywheel generator. We should have embraced this stuff 100 years ago. And there are a few companies out there that are working on it. NASA's doing some stuff for the space station that are going to use flywheel battery storage systems. But now that we have the better technology to make it happen, the flywheel generator part that I'm going to be working on is something that a lot of people never thought that actually would work, that would be a good, reliable system to use. So I'm going to be working on this year. I've already got the schematics I need for the circuitry and how it actually works. And there's a couple people out there that I was able to find this. It was like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but I found something and I looked into it. And these guys are claiming that their flywheel generators are about 300% over Unity. So let's see if it works. From what I can see in their documentation of their generators, it's the real deal. So, and it's not very hard to make either. So that's another great part about it. So that's going to be another part of this generator system that I'm working on.
I am now calling you the real deal, Mike Faraday.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, there's a lot of good stuff coming up, and you know, I feel like time is speeding up because of all this stuff that's happening with the podcasting and all this information and
the acceleration of the rate of change forward.
Yeah, because like, you know, I'm not really into alchemy, and then I saw the stuff that these guys were doing with alchemy, and I'm going, oh, that's pretty cool. Maybe I should shoot this off to Bernie and see what he thinks of it. Maybe he can take it and run with it and do something with it. So
and it's going to be part of our show coming up.
And I think that the most profound thing that I found when I was seeing those interviews, that the fact that these guys are saying that gold is alive. That was the most profound thing that I thought.
That resonated with me so profoundly when you just like keep saying that.
Yeah, gold is alive. The real gold ore from the ground is alive. And that's amazing to me. When I heard that coming from these guys that have been working with this stuff for like 50, 60 years, and they're saying that gold is alive, makes you want to think and listen to what they have to say, because if gold is alive, then obviously it can grow. So, and these guys have been working on stuff like this for, like I said, 40, 50 years. These guys have been working on it. And now I shoot it off to Bernie, and now Bernie's going to try to run with it, because alchemy is not really my thing. I'm more into the energy stuff. But who knows? Down the road, who knows? I might dabble with it myself. So, yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on. It's just like, man, it's like there's not enough hours in the day. If I could make a day 48 hours, that'd be great, because I could get a lot more done. And yeah, like some people are saying in the chat, everything is alive, and that's very true. You know, I'm just trying to read some of the stuff here. Yeah, there's alchemy. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, you see induction is another thing too, and that's why I studied Faraday so much. Riley's saying I know how to boil water in 2 seconds. Well, yeah, there is a way. It's called magnetic induction. Yeah, you can spin magnets over a copper plate, and you can boil water within like seconds. You know, it creates heat when you spin.
That's another way.
Yeah,
that is another way. That's yes. Because there's also the way with the right sound frequency. You play the sound frequency into water, and that like literally is a radio wave worth of energy, instead of having to put the infrared energy wave of that temperature in. You're just putting a radio wave of the resonant frequency into water, and they'll boil it. And you can then harness that heat energy out of it. And all you are putting in is a radio wave, and you're taking out a heat energy wave. And like when people can grasp that sort of energy transfer, creation, sort of transmission, understanding, and what that really is in these endothermic electromagnetic reactions, that is alchemy. It's all cold fusion on higher but lower energy dimensional transfers. Higher for some aspects of modern understanding, but also lower for others.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like I've seen these experiments where guys were just spinning magnets over copper plates or steel plates, and it generates a huge amount of heat energy. Yeah, induction.
Induction is something that people don't know, Mike. You're bang on that.
Yeah. And yeah, you can make heat pumps with that. You can do, there's another one called the Peltier device where it's like a little block and it's got two wires on it. You heat up one side, the other side freezes. You freeze one side, the other side heats up. It's a very interesting little device called the Peltier device. And you can actually buy them on Amazon. I actually have one. I don't know exactly where it is, but it's basically a little square block about 8 big. It's not very big. You've got two wires on it, and yeah, you apply electrical power to it. You know, you'll get one side that's cold and one side is hot. You know, or you can apply cold to one side, the other side will heat up, and plus make electrical power. So they're very interesting little devices. And I've studied Faraday quite a bit, and that's why I call it Faraday Research, because without induction, electromagnetic induction, we weren't able to create the world that we have right now. And then Tesla came along and then, you know, grabbed the ball and started running with it again and took electricity to the next level where, you know, he basically brought electricity to the world, you know, through AC power. And then he went beyond that, but the world wasn't ready for it. And that's why he was shut down by the elite, because he wanted free energy for everybody. You know, all you needed was an antenna and you would receive power. Well, powers to be and all the power brokers at that time, that's when they shut him down. So he died as a poor man. And a lot of these great inventors, unfortunately, die as poor men because they go too far with their technology and the world isn't ready for it. And the power brokers and the bankers and all those guys basically shut you down. So now we have the power of the internet where we could share these ideas and these experiments and all our findings online freely. So now they can't suppress us. So, you know, when they put out the internet, they didn't realize they opened up the Pandora's box. And the Pandora's box is the internet, because now all the information is flowing freely. So, yeah, the internet and the way we're using it is exactly their worst nightmare, right? To the elitists, the information highway, the social media and the exchange of information is their worst nightmare. And I love it. So, so we can take that ball and keep running with it. So if you have great ideas, I'd love to hear about it. I have a very active chat board on my Faraday Research on YouTube. And you could always shoot me emails. I got my emails set up there too. You can check out my videos that I post. I try to post quite often, every week, 2, 3, sometimes 4 videos a week on the YouTube channel. And yeah, you can become a member and become part of what I'm doing. You know, like when I first met Bernie, I only had like 260 subscribers. Now I got 1,200 subscribers. So my site is growing. I'm getting a lot more traffic. I'm corresponding with quite a few people on a regular basis. And I'm getting always 98% of the time, 99% of the time, I'm getting really good positive feedback, which is really good. And that fuels me more to do more. So the more positive stuff I get back, the more I want to put into the channel and share with
Law of
everybody.
attraction.
Yeah, that's it,
It's just as relevant that all the lovely souls that watch this are live with.
Oh, we lost Bernie. He got disconnected. But yeah, it's yeah, the internet is dead. It's the internet that is alive. Yeah,
The interweb.
The interweb. Yeah, but the internet is the Pandora's box. It's the elitist worst nightmare. We're, like I said earlier, that we're sharing this information so freely now. The flow of information, the flow of technology, the flowing of ideas, and it's not being suppressed anymore like it was for Tesla in his day.
Take away my 3,500 viewers, and I've got 500,000. Booyah!
Exactly. So, sometimes a bad thing will lead to something even better down the road. So, who knows? One day I could get knocked off the air too, or off YouTube. Who knows? It's just a matter of how that will pan out. But hopefully it won't happen anytime soon.
So here's the thing: since they won't respond to me, I'm literally on my weekend at BurnEye multicast, going to as we re-upload all of the different streams, go through the thousands upon thousands of hours of pre-recorded video of great scientific and intellectual discussions, and be like, where's the pornography? Oh, there is none. Okay, so you can never take down any of our channels again trying to claim that.
The internet is too large now. The social media community is so big now that it's, if you get shut down on one, 15 more are going to open. So,
well, and the interweb of things, and this was just on the Supoman channel. That's a pretty decent channel I follow on YouTube for crypto knowledge. But he was just talking about what he sees is going to be the major trend of 2022 is the adoption of social media. What's the term? But basically, where instead of YouTube's making most of the money off of us right now, making the content, and then the viewers donating just money, it's like the viewers are going to be getting paid for watching it. We're going to be getting paid for making it and getting views. And then the program, the DAO, the a computer governance system that monitors the structure that used to be a corporation, but is now just a structured program, and the community of people that are within it and use it, then makes it for growth of that, but also equal for the people making it and the people using it, which that is so revolutionary that when you understand it, well, I'm going to be making sure I'm using it in 2022.
Yeah,
how about you?
You can't stop it. It's going to continue to grow.
And accelerate the rate of change.
That's right. It's a living entity all on its own. It's the matrix, right? We're developing this new 3.0 matrix as we speak, because you don't have to be on one particular platform. You could be on 200 platforms. You can interconnect yourself with so many different media groups and groups that Bernie's getting hooked up with. It's just it just snowballs. That's why I'm saying the internet was the biggest Pandora's box that the elite rich ever unleashed on the planet, and now it's working against them because this stuff's getting out.
And it's got a mind of its own. It's got a conscious mind of its own.
Actually, it is. That's what it is.
People taking use of it, that it is then giving back consciously good to all of those and rewarding them. And it's like that might sound like some crazy woohoo woo-woo
It's
world
the
out there,
Matrix.
but until you would experience it, you don't know what the F I am talking about.
Yeah, it's the Matrix. Basically, this is what was portrayed in the movie back 25 years ago. That the Matrix that we're building right now is going to be so close to reality that you will almost not even know it is not real. That's how close it's going to get, and that's where things are going to get real interesting in the next 10 years or so. And yeah, I'm starting to see the beginning stages of what's happening now. Like, my daughter was playing with her aunt's virtual reality goggles, and I played a game on it, and I was totally blown away by how real it was. Like, I could not tell the difference
it is,
between.
right?
Yeah, it was freaky.
That is part of the prophecy, is that half of the souls will get lost completely in the metaverse and not understand or have the self-worth to bring their actual existence back into the physical and remain in the physical karmatic instead of
there's going to be
in the virtual.
There's going to be two planes of real existence, one in cyberspace.
There are multiple. We're just adding one more.
Yeah, right. Exactly. There's going to be two major avenues: the reality and the internet reality. You're going to have like two like alter egos. You're going to have two.
I already have 5 with Crypto Alchemist, Bernard Conkin, BurnEye the Mind's Eye Science Guy, BurnCron Clothing, Up North Records, Honor the Culture artwork. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Anyways, Bernie, I'm gonna have to head out here. It's about 2:00 in the morning here.
Yeah.
And
I actually just got the car started.
Did you?
Drive my lovely Amber home. She's been patiently waiting. I was supposed to drive her home before this even started, but it is minus 35 degrees in Calgary, Canada right now. So we had to plug in my dad's truck, and then from that unit to boost my mom's car, which I'm borrowing because my truck is currently in the mechanics, and my mom's wouldn't start, and it doesn't have a block heater to plug in.
Yeah, I'm here in bombing 0 degrees Celsius where I am.
I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous that you are just at freezing degrees. Yeah. It's so much colder than just freezing.
Yeah, it's actually raining right now.
You lucky man, it's above freezing. And so that is minus 35 on the actual thermometer, guys.
That hurts.
Wind chill, it's minus 48, and tomorrow it's broadcast to be minus 41 Celsius without wind chill. With wind chill, somewhere like minus 50, and it's like when you're at minus 40, it literally is equal whether it's Celsius or Fahrenheit for all the Americans tuning in. It's fucking cold up here, and you lucky Toronto, Great Lakes, Southern Canadian, I am so jealous. That's warm for Alberta. Oh yeah. This is no lie. I've actually it was probably the worst day of my life. But anyways, story for another day. It was a very low point, many reasons, multidimensional. Anywho, it was also minus 51 without wind chill, and it was a day that I was moving my legal weed grow that I had 400 legal mums that were several years. They were worth tens of thousands of dollars, and I had 2 propane flame heaters, like built in, running in a box trailer, and it was like plus 25 from where inside, and then put all of them in, and then on a 15-minute drive back into the city, it was so cold difference. It literally, when my buddy's truck went outside into the minus 51, it was like minus 62 with wind chill or something insane. It was February 2nd or something, 2013, I believe. Or maybe, yeah. Anywho, it sucked the glass or the whatever that little thing, flap thingy that closes air vent on the roof that was literally like 8 inches by 8 inches, sucked it right off, and all the air sucked out so fast it took the flames of those propane burners out, and the plants were completely crystal frozen, and
Wow.
the soil was still warm, and you touched a plant and they just shattered. I lost a lot of money that day, and I was like, the universe does not want me to grow for a little while. But I still have my license, and I'm going to get back into it again, I think, this year, because it's like, hey, let's test out these legal plants I'm allowed to grow. Some control ones with regular fertilizer and water, some with some magnetic structured water, and some with some colloidal gold, monoatomic gold, silver, copper water.
I'll be curious to see what happens with that.
Absolutely.
Anyways, guys,
that is why I am dressed like a communist right now. My dad got these when he visited the former Soviet Union, visiting family many decades ago. Anywho, I am wearing it because it is freaking cold, and bless your soul. Hopefully I see you before 2022.
Yep.
But for everything you do, we love you, Mike.
Yep.
We love you all. Thanks for joining in.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me again. And yeah, we'll see everybody.
They love you, and they love you, Mike.
Yeah, we'll see everybody soon. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do so when you go to my homepage there on YouTube.
I'll update the links in the description. I heard that what I had in there, for some reason, when I copied and pasted it, it made them not work anymore. So I will fix that, and definitely go subscribe and comment and join our future 48 hours, and it'll be our Sundays with Mike, the real deal Faraday.
All right, man. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and yeah, we'll see everybody soon.
One love. Happy holidays and blessings to you all.
Cheers. Bye.